Diabetes is a very serious disease, and managing it can be difficult. However, your diet can play a role in that. Dietitian Andrea Holwegner joins us this morning with more on that. Thanks for coming in this morning, Andrea.
Thanks for having me.
Food, obviously, and diet, a very critical part in managing diabetes. And you've brought in some great examples this morning to show that.
Yes, I brought in a spread of carbohydrate-rich foods because when we're thinking about nutrition for diabetes, it's about carbohydrates. And carbohydrates are sugars to your body. So if you think of things like your rices, your grains, your pastas, breads, what they look like is a chain of pearls. With each of those pearls on a necklace being a sugar molecule. And if I twisted them all up to a ball, that's actually what grains look like to your body. Whereas when we think of other things, lactose in your milks and your yogurts, those are two sugars linked together. And then when we think of fruits and things like your canned pops and juices, sweets, they're more single and double beads of sugar. So carbohydrates in general, we just need to manage the quantity is the big thing.
So not necessarily what you are eating. You can maybe have a little bit of everything, but the size and the portion of that.
Absolutely. Often when we have clients coming into our practice with diabetes, they've taken out all sugar out of their diet. They're worried about eating even, natural carbohydrate sources such as fruits and grains. And the idea is you can eat anything with diabetes. You just can't eat everything.
Okay.
So the key thing is portion sizes and spreading things out. So even things like a cookie, or I got cupcakes left over from my son's birthday here yesterday, all of those things can fit with diabetes. It's just understanding how to work them through your meal plan.
Okay, we were talking during the break about pairing certain foods as well and how that can really help your body slow the absorption of some of those carbohydrates or sugars.
You got it. So, and it's kind of how we typically think of meal planning anyways. You're probably not going to just eat a whole plate of rice, and if you did, this would be bad for your diabetes. So what we want to see you do is combine carbohydrates with protein and marry them together. And what protein does is it helps to slow down that release of carbohydrate sugar into the bloodstream, and it just really, allows your blood sugars to look a little better.
When it comes to fats or other sugars, fruits and goodies and stuff, do you pair them with anything, or is there other means of managing those?
Yeah, and this is a great quote. People are like, well, if I'm going to have a cupcake,
which I would want to have, you don't want to deprive yourself.
What do I do about that? Well, the first thing, if we're thinking about a dessert, a summer party that you might be going to, I'd want to see somebody separate out their meal from dessert and give it some time in between, for one. Second thing is make some choices. What do you love the most? Is it the garlic toast, the baked potatoes, the desserts? And make some choices. Having all three with diabetes probably going to be pretty tricky for your blood sugar control. And then last but not least, of course, if you can marry any kind of sugar source with protein, it's always going to be better for your blood sugar control.
When it comes to fruits and vegetables, are those okay no matter what, or again, are you watching the size of those portions?
And vegetables do have carbohydrates in them, but they're very low. And so typically, I rarely have ever made a recommendation that people have to limit their vegetable consumption. When it comes to fruits, though, fruits sometimes, because especially in the summer, they're so delicious, managing the quantity that you do have at a time is always important, particularly when it comes to juice. Usually for diabetes, we say if you can stay clear of the juice, probably your best bet. If not, maybe only about a half a cup at a time.
All right. Some great advice. Thanks so much for coming in this morning, Andrea. Andrea's website is healthstandnutrition.com if you'd like more information. We're back with the morning news with weather and traffic reports right after this. Please stay with us.